Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty, and today we're going to be taking a good hard look at I Heart Skull Crusher. This is one that did pique my interest when I first saw it for a couple of reasons. Number one, genuinely love the title. That's a great name for a comic book without any context whatsoever. I want to read that story. Secondly, I love that cover. I didn't really read too much about it, as I often don't, but on my Threads channel, I've started looking at what covers really do pop, and I picked one each week. This is the one from this week that I really, really liked. It's dynamic. It doesn't fall into the passive postcard thing, which a lot of femme-led comic book covers can do. It actually shows her in action, and it's an exciting amount of action too. And it is this kind of action which stays throughout the comic book. It is possibly the most active, effervescent, dynamic comic book I've read. It keeps its foot on the gas from the moment it starts right through to the end, and there is so much packed into this comic book. We start with just this idea that there has been some catastrophe and we're in a vaguely dystopic future. And we start with a young girl who discovers a sport she loves and a sports person she loves even more, the eponymous Skull Crusher. And there's a little bit of queer coding there, just a little bit. It's not too overt or anything like that, but it's certainly enough there to make me think this is something that's going to be explored later on, but it doesn't really do anything to jam it into your face or anything. It's just, there's language used and expressions, and it just kind of comes off quite nicely. And then we get various points of story throughout, including her trying to get a team together because she has an opportunity to enter an open tournament, and if she wins, she gets to be on Skull Crusher's team in the sport of screaming paintball. Brilliant name for a sport. And she has problems getting a team together, and she needs the resources to do it, and she has to find teammates, and she gets some resources stolen, and she has to find a coach, and there's all these story beats going on. Peppered throughout are fantastic bits of character building and world building. The world building actually is done in a slightly unusual way for my tastes. I'm used to saying the best kind of world building is where you just have it in the background and it's more like an exploration of the world as the characters are going through it, and that is how you build a world effectively. Because the pace is so frenetic in this and there's so much they're trying to pack in, I think they make the right decision just to occasionally just pepper into the dialogue and pepper into the narration just stuff about the world and about her character background. It's all useful and it all works. I think the only time it ever gets a little bit too much, this isn't a dialogue thing, it's when we look at the artwork and how exceptionally quick it is and how much is going on with it. There's a fight scene near the tail end of the book where there's just moments where you kind of have to pull back and take it in from a slightly further distance because there's so much going on and it is a little bit overbearing. Now, this is the minorest of minor criticisms. I honestly think I'd rather have creators take a massive swing or punt and hope like hell it lands, than play it completely safe and just deliver very passive kind of storytelling. This is the opposite of that. It's also extremely influenced by manga and anime, and I don't really read much manga or watch much anime. I dip in it even every once in a while. Nekogahara Stray Cat Samurai was kind of cool. I really like cyberpunk themed things, and I watched the 90s and 2000s anime movies with that, and I really like the cyberpunk TV series. So I'm vaguely aware of some aesthetic choices, which are very much manga and anime, and even to do with layouts and things like that. I'm aware of the big eye, small mouth kind of thing, and I want to say chibi or chibli, I'm not 100% sure on that one, where they are just portrayed slightly differently. There's also a tendency, I think, as I've seen in manga, where just within one frame with no breaking and guttering, there is just enough stuff happening on there with certain characters repeated to show that it's clearly not just a shot of what's happening at the time, but multiple time periods and time passing. It's not like it's impossible, and I have seen people do similar things in more American or European comic books, but it feels very much more something I'd expect to see in manga and anime, and specifically manga, should I say, and you do get a couple of those in there. And it's also exceptionally shonen, and I think I'm using this term right. Again, if I'm wrong, I do not mind being corrected. I do not know about it, speak with any kind of authority, but I've got some friends who like this kind of thing, and they'll refer to shonen as the story of somebody starting young and trying to become the best. It's something that I often see discussed when talking about Dragon Ball or Pokemon and things like that. And we do have this here. It's a sport-specific shonen story. Again, screaming paintball as a sport, brilliant name. And it is starting from her as a young child discovering sport and spending her childhood years getting as good as she possibly can get to the point that she's the best in the area. She's got rivalries built up, and she's got a goal in mind where she's going to go and become part of this amazing team. It all feels very much like whatever anyone describe Shonen to me, that's what vibe I'm getting. Now, again, I can't speak too much authority on that one, have to be corrected, but if that's what you're looking for and you want to try something like that, I would highly recommend it. I am absolutely going to check out the next issue. My only hope is it managed to keep this frenetic pace up, because it is absolutely breakneck pace, and I want this kind of thing. I want to be dragged along by this story with it constantly screaming in my ear about how amazing it is, and are you looking at it? Have you seen that? Wasn't that cool? I want that kind of vibe from this kind of comic book, and I hope it manages to carry on delivering it. That's it from me for now, though. I'll be back with more reviews. Make sure you do the social media thing. Until I see you all again, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye!